If you're struggling to gain confidence in throwing those big swim baits, glide baits, multi-joints, this is the video to start with. We're going to talk through on how to go about starting to get confidence in these baits, start getting some follows, start getting some bites, start catching fish on these things, and then the whole rest of the back end will open up. So like this is a 6-inch bait, you'll start throwing 10, 11, 12-inch baits, trying to catch them 7, 8, 9, 10 pounders. But so big swim bait fishing has become all the rage lately, and it's for good reason. There's a lot of people catching a lot of really, really big fish on these things and doing really well in tournaments because of it. Whether you're just needing that extra 3, 4 pounder or you're on a really hot bite that day and you've got 25 pounds in the boat. Swim baits are a huge, critical tool in your arsenal. So let's talk about how to gain confidence in it. So there's 2 tips I'm going to give you today. First, throw it in the most obvious spot possible. That's the biggest question. That's the biggest answer to the question that we always get at shows. It's like, man, I don't know how to start throwing this thing. I don't know where to put it. I don't know. Find the most obvious dock. Find the most obvious laydown on the lake. Throw it there. Throw it up there. Let it sink down just a little bit, maybe. Give it a couple twitches, slow reel. Just start doing that at the most obvious points on the lake, and you're going to start getting followers, and you're going to start getting bites, and then you're going to start catching a lot of fish. It's like, all right, that ball's rolling, and it keeps going downhill, and then suddenly you're like, okay, I want to switch up from a 6-inch bait to a 10-inch bait. And all of a sudden it seems like, man, that's got a lot more drawing power. And now all of a sudden you've got a ton of confidence in the bait. So start on the most obvious structures on the lake. It's where they live, and throwing a big swim bait there is going to get their attention. So tip number 2, don't start with the cheap Chinese knockoff baits. They're designed to catch you as a fisherman, not the fish. And I understand big swim baits get expensive. Like there's some baits out there that are $1,000 a piece. It's insane. And I understand, like, you're just getting into it. Like, man, I'll just spend 15 bucks on this plastic bait. It'll get my feet wet, right? Well, you start throwing around that $15 bait, and all of a sudden it's like, man, I'm just not getting bites on it. I don't know what the deal is. Swim baiting's not for me. I'm going to go back to throwing my jig. So the issue with that is if you would have started with a better bait and started putting in those super obvious spots, you're going to get a lot more attention, and you're going to get a lot more confidence in yourself. So my recommendation, spend a little bit extra money. This is the Clutch Eco. This is the one we just came out for this specific purpose, to help get guys confidence in throwing those big baits. So this is a resin bait. So in terms of hierarchy of materials, ABS is down here at the bottom, that plastic stuff, and they kind of range anywhere from the $15 baits all the way up to $60, $70, $80. Generally those ABS plastic baits, they're mass produced. There's some of them that are all right. And then the step above ABS plastic is resin. Resin's got a lot more buoyancy in it than an ABS bait does, allows it to perform better. It's more fun to fish. It seems like it gets bit better. So resin baits are, in most situations, are going to outperform the plastic ones. And this is the Clutch Eco. It's a resin bait, and it's $95. I haven't been able to find a resin bait out there that's cheaper than this bait. It's super durable, super user-friendly, only 6¼ inches long. So small bait, it's small enough you're still going to catch a lot of those 15, 16, 17-inch fish, and still got drawing power. It's big enough to have drawing power, but small enough to get bit a lot. So that's the Clutch Eco. This is what I recommend guys starting with when you're trying to get into big swim bait fishing, because you're going to catch a ton of fish on it.